Hello, welcome to PoliTarology. It is
Hey.
Colleen and Val once again. Yay! Here we are. All right. So thank you for joining us. Let me see. Are there anybody here? No, there's nobody here. Okay. So it's just us. So hopefully there will be people soon. And I have a bunch of questions. Actually, a lot of these are just kind of things that have been going on. So if you have something super current that you want to do a question about. Oh, hi, Deb. Hello. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Deb. I do. There's a few things that have just come out. And I'm trying to listen to myself here. Excuse the noise while I mute it. And let's see. There was breaking news that George Santos literally told Newsmax that he stepped away from his company in 2001, which means since he was born in 1988, meaning he would have been 13 years old when he stepped away from his. So I said, he's not much of a mathematician, is he? Eh? I mean, like a Canadian would say.
I want to know.
Get the math right.
I want to know what it looks like inside this man's head. It's got to be like Candyland or something, It's just got to be like all fantasy. He has no connection to reality.
No connection to reality.
This guy.
No connection to reality. And
I just, I gotta say.
Could it get worse? Could it? I mean, is it going to stick around? Is it going to be here for very much longer? I don't know how to phrase that properly, but
I don't know if I want him to go or not. He is hilarious.
Comic relief, you have to admit.
He is comic relief. He's kind of a fun guy.
He's a fun kind of guy.
And sometimes a fun gal. So,
he is also a fun gal. So he's very, he has a lot of sides.
He's versatile.
He's versatile.
He's very versatile. The very versatile. What's his name today? George
today.
Santos.
It might be something else.
Walked away from his company when he was 13.
Oh, Deb says, how can you ever do a chart for him? What's his name? What's his birthday?
Yeah, you can't. You can't. It's the first thing I thought of when he first started talking. I was just like, oh my God, you can't even believe his birth date.
You can't believe it. No.
and you probably, his mother's probably the same way. I mean,
yeah. I mean, he had to get it from somewhere, right? I mean,
exactly. Okay, so let's see. Is he going to be around very much longer? Is that what we're doing?
No, yeah. What I kind of want to know if he's going to be around much longer, because he does provide a lot of
entertainment,
a lot of grist for the mill.
He's kind of like the Congress USO, He's just,
right.
Kind of there to entertain and
exactly.
Hey, he got Mitt Romney talking.
He did get him talking, and if I could read lips, I would be a happy girl. Because that last head nod that Mitt did was, I mean, it was for emphasis.
Apparently, he was saying something to the effect of, "You ought to be ashamed to show your face here."
Yes, that would be something that the Mormon, But you know what? I have to be honest. I kind of like Mitt Romney because he's a stand-up kind of guy, at least.
He is, and he has that notebook full of women, so he likes women. He keeps his notebook, whether it's up to date or if all the women are like old as dirt.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Maybe George is in his book. Who knows?
Probably. Who knows?
Okay,
But I mean, he was He was not a Trumper, so I mean, I have to give it that to him.
Yeah.
Even though, I'm not in that arena. Not in the GOP corner. Oh, gee whizzo.
Let's see what's going on with George.
I got the repairman. He needs
He needs a repair.
he needs to repair his image so badly
He does.
that there's just, I don't even know. Because there's going to be a lot of squabbling. I got the Fight Club. There's going to be a lot of, or there already is actually squabbles over this whole thing. They need to bulldoze over the whole story. And, but people are still exploring. What's his real birthday? What's his real name? What are the real stories? And somebody's going to come in and say, he's got to go. But that's when he's going to turn on the poet, try to get people to love him again. He's going to sing a song, but he's going to sink like a rock. And he's going to eventually be out of here. That's my story.
I'm just waiting for him to start supporting somebody who's kind of going down in their reputation.
Yeah.
And that person will somehow have to be somewhat beholden to him, although they won't. But that's what I think he might try, is to hitch his wagon to somebody who needs support and give him that support, because he's so good at spinning stuff.
Oh, he is a spinner from, oh my goodness.
He could spin all sorts of tales about them and, make them look like $1 million. So what I got first was that, in his mind, he is the victor, the Six of Wands. In his mind, he is just knocking it out of the park. He's so deluded.
I concur, because what I've read on him, he really believes that.
And look, here is his female persona. She's very happy, the Nine of Pentacles.
Wonder Woman.
And it looks like that picture of him.
Oh, it does.
Her. Sorry, Georgina, Katiri, whatever the name is. Katanji, I don't know what his name was. Anyway, he feels very almost smug in his security and his well-being. Well, it's the first time he's had a really decent paycheck probably in his whole life. So that might give him great comfort. But really, I mean, the middle card here, he did steal his election. He did. He got it under false pretenses. So he really is a thief. Now, I don't know what to make of this next card. He comes up with the 10 of Pentacles. So, okay, I get it. So what he stole was huge.
It was
a great sum of money. And that money is somewhere. He didn't use it all in his campaign. He may have pretended to contribute it, but the rest of that money is somewhere else. And he's going to need it for his legal fees.
Absolutely.
The problem is that what he needs to do is practice some temperance, some moderation. And this is going to be very, very difficult. Deb says he can't have much money left after the donuts and coffee. Yeah. And Deb, you know what? I can see him bringing donuts and coffee to whoever is, like Senator Manchin or something, somebody who's kind of going down. And I could just see him really glomming onto them and talking them up. And then when he's out of their earshot, telling big whoppers about him to build him up, which they won't appreciate, but he'll think he's doing a great thing. So
absolutely.
So this does not really say whether he's going to stick around or not. So I'm guessing he's not gone tomorrow. I'm guessing he's going to be with us for a little while longer.
Yeah, I didn't really get an ending. I just got his reputation sinking like a rock, but it's already sunk. But yeah, I think he's going to be around for a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's not going to be too pleasing to most of the senators or Congress people, but you know what? They're the ones who said, well, he was elected by his people. That's what Kevin said. Well, he was, the people elected him. Yeah, you know what? The people didn't know that he was lying through his teeth.
Aries Girl wants to know what we're reading on. We were reading on will George Santos stay in his position as a senator? Because
I'm gonna throw a couple more cards just on that part because these first few cards were very interesting. He really does have a lot of entertainment value.
He does. You're right about that. I mean, have we ever had anything so outlandishly clownish? Oh yeah, the orange one though.
Yeah.
But this one is even more buffoonery, or no?
Yeah, the orange one stories were just shocking and horrifying. His are funny and shocking,
You're right. There is a lot of humor you can get out of the Santos situation.
I mean, just the way he's dressing, and he looks like a little frat boy.
Yes, he does. I was going to say he's trying to look like a college boy with the little sweaters. Right? Yeah. Yeah. George is a straight up cartoon. Yes. Allison.
Yeah. He is. Hi, Jamie Johnson.
Hi, Jamie.
Let's see.
Yep, for sure. For sure.
Okay.
I should look at my news feed and see if there's any articles out there that are.
I'm going to say that he makes it to the spring equinox, but he's gone before summer solstice.
Ooh.
That's what I'm going to say.
I'm liking that. Wow.
He drew the King of Wands.
Mm-hmm.
Wands are the spring.
Yeah.
And also the King of Wands is, he has a temper.
Yes. Yeah.
When that temper blows, nothing's going to stand up to that. Mm-mm. And even though this also looks like George, if you look at the face, this is the Magician card in this deck. And so George is going to pull a lot of stuff. And that after the King of Wands gets really mad at him. So probably the investigators, when they really start getting serious, he's just going to ramp up with more and more outrageous stuff because he gets the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands may be the person making choices, but I think he's also blabbing more and more and more and more. And, like, isn't he cute? And
yeah, I think you're right about that. I pulled some real quick cards and I got the Hierophant. Oh, go ahead, Colleen.
Oh, but we got Strength, which I think is a summer card, basically, Leo. And I think that Strength is coming against him.
Yeah.
And then finally they bring the hammer down. They got the Emperor. So, they're gonna shut him down. And what I had always felt at the very beginning of his whole little expose is that he's gonna. Where's he from? What's the other country?
Is he from Ecuador? Brazil? He's from Brazil.
Because they keep talking. They're going to extradite him to Brazil. They're gonna turn him over to the Brazilian authorities because he stole even more money there probably than here.
That's what I heard.
Okay, go ahead. I'm done.
Well, I just pulled 3 cards and I got the Hierophant and the Hermit. But this Hermit is a little different than our wisdom seeking or Hermit. It's really somebody who's hiding from things.
Yeah.
And then, kind of grief. A situation where there's a lot of grief and he's not going to hear it. He really turns a deaf ear to anything. It's almost like as long as he got in and he got the paycheck and he got the money to run, he didn't care. He doesn't care about any of the periphery conversations about him. He
No.
has no, that doesn't bother him very much.
And you would think after our experience with Trump that people would be aware that when you're dealing with people who have these kinds of mental psychopathy going on,
Right.
that you can't deal with them like a normal person. You can't just expect that, well, once he starts getting investigated, then he'll just step down.
Right.
No, he won't. No, this guy is going to keep coming every day to his office, even if he has to hide in his office and sleep there. He will.
I agree.
He'll do everything he can to avoid arrest, extradition, payment,
Will.
going to court. He'll do everything he can to just ignore it. I would say this is probably a guy that is just not going to show up for the court dates either. And he's just going to make it worse and worse and worse and worse until they're going to have just, policemen come and tackle him and, handcuff him, because he's not going to cooperate in any way, shape, or form. So Deb wants to know how we feel about Putin, so we can throw some cards on him. But so that's what I think. I mean, you're dealing with somebody who's really, the marbles are just rolling around in an empty hallway. They're not.
I like that phrase. They're rolling around in an empty hallway.
Yeah, there's nothing for him to bump into.
Imagery of what's going on.
Nothing for those marbles to bump into. No furniture, nothing.
Nope.
Nothing going on up there.
Nothing going on up there.
Yeah. All right. So
Aries girl said that hermit that I have in the what is this? The Deviant Moon Tarot, the hermit I have is a paranoid meth addict hermit. That's what he looked like. That's what he looked like. Oh man, sorry, Colleen. What were you saying?
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so do we want to do Putin now?
Yes. Okay. Putin.
Okay, so what's going on with Putin? Oh, they have a well-oiled propaganda machine in Russia.
Don't they? I mean, he could be dead and we wouldn't know it because it's
exactly,
the machine just keeps rolling.
I mean, how did he do? I had heard that he was like basically in hospice, like on his deathbed and just retiring from public life. And then it crops up that he was making a public appearance for something.
It's not.
And then he's claiming other actions against Ukraine. And I'm like, wait, I thought the guy was basically dying.
Body doubles.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Do
All
we think
these guys?
that?
Yeah.
Because that certainly came to my mind too.
Kim Jong-un, yeah, all of them use the body doubles. They've always used them, but now they have a big job because they have to cover him.
Well, 100%. And I think that it might not be necessarily for his good. I think they might be just keeping him away from the public. Yes, he's sick and he's easily controlled physically because he's sick. And they might be using the body doubles to put forward whatever agenda they have.
I agree 100%.
And I don't think the people who are in charge right now of what's going on, I don't think they'll be in charge very long. Because I don't think that they want to be the face, the public face. They need someone who is the public face. Because they need to keep up that charade of a president of Russia, right?
Right.
Even though that's not true. Okay.
No, it's not true. You're absolutely right about that. Well, it's funny. The cards aren't about Putin. They're about the country and about what's going on. Almost like Putin isn't even
there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's basically on hospice. I
Yeah,
don't think he's gone yet, but I think he's really diminished.
I think you're right about that. I'm
Oh my goodness.
going to pull
Oh
some
my goodness.
clarifiers.
No.
Oh, really?
Oh. So do you want to go?
Uh, one second. I was just going to
Okay.
pull a couple of deck of character clarifiers and see what's going on here. Okay. So I have the Knight of Pentacles, and I think that's really all their Ukraine stuff going on. I think it's the shifts in how they're handling their attacks and everything from an earthly point of view. And I think, however, they communicate with each other. And I feel like this is just sadness and grief all throughout the country, actually. And I feel like they're feeling like something's got not right about this. I mean, all the people in Russia are really upset. I think a lot of them are, and their children are starting to be killed in service of this war that doesn't have to be. And so I got this star card, and I feel like
Oh,
it's going to bring in a change in administration. I don't think this has anything to do with Putin, but
no.
I got the hangman along with the universe. And I feel like
Mm,
it's going to be a whole new administration, whole new things coming in. I don't know how long this will take, 6 months, I don't know. But I feel like they're not even going to talk about Putin because Putin is irrelevant. This
yeah,
is simply about the things that the people, how they feel in Russia, and the administration is not going to go on for that much longer.
yeah.
That's what I sense.
Oh, they're
How about
very
you?
sad. Very sad.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think that the people are grieving for themselves, not necessarily for Putin. I mean, they may be sad for the life of a
Yeah,
human being, but they're really grieving for their own country
they are.
because they don't recognize it. Half of the guys who had to leave the country, those are brothers and husbands and sons, and so most of the families are just devastated anyway. It's
Totally.
really sad, really, really sad. And I don't know what it's like in Russia as far as like buying food or anything like that, but it can't be a real happy day there. It
No,
can't be, it's not like business as usual. The shelves are stocked and everything.
nope, it can't be like that.
No. So I threw out 5 cards, and the first card that I got was the moon. So obviously they're
Oh,
hiding things, they're keeping things secret, and they're just waiting, 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 and just waiting.
those are beautiful cards. I
These are
love
the
those.
these are the cosmic deck. It's a
Oh,
really old deck. I've had at least 5 different boxes of them because I use them to death and I get them all
they're
hung.
just stunning, stunning artwork and
Yeah,
beautiful
I
imagery.
love the artwork, and when you see people's faces in them, I
Mhm,
think the artist took like old Hollywood movie stars and used their
mhm,
faces for like the kings and queens and stuff like that. But I haven't identified all the people yet on the cards, but I think that's what it is. But he is Scandinavian, Robert Lusch or Norbert Lusch,
mhm.
and just beautiful, beautiful cards and a little bit
Beautiful.
different interpretations too. So
Mm.
the moon is, secrets coming up out of the water, things that are hidden behind the veil that we're not supposed to know about yet. And then that's followed by the hermit. So, things are really getting maybe locked down in Russia. Maybe, doors are being shut. um, I know they let a lot of people out of prison in order to go fight, but I think for Putin and the people in the upper ranks of the government, I think they're locked down totally because
Well,
they're
and if the oligarchs don't keep falling out of windows and off the tops of buildings.
Yeah, it's probably for their own good they're locking themselves in so that they can't fall out, you know. And then we get, this is funny, this is the card that came up for George Santos too. There's a feeling that they have to keep pretending that all is well.
Yes.
You know, that there's plenty of money, there's plenty of food,
They have
everybody's
the facade.
safe. Yep, it's a total facade, total facade. But very soon, now I think that this is once Putin passes, which is probably imminent, they have a choice to make, and the choice is who is going to be the face. I think they've tried to choose several times people to be the face, and I don't think they're happy with the choices because one of the things about Putin is he's a Libra. He did like being out there in the public. You know, he did like the adulation, and even like Trump, like portrayed himself as a big strong man and, you know, forever young. And I mean, I know he had treatments all the time to make himself appear younger. And I think that served the state's purpose because some people would buy into that. And now they have to find someone else who's going to portray that, and there just isn't anybody.
Yeah.
So whatever they put up is going to be a straw dog. It's going to come to not much.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to happen quickly. 8 of Wands. So whatever's happening is happening. It's imminent. It is the next, maybe, where are we now? It's the 10th of February. I'd say by the end of February, we know what's new. We know what's new in Russia, I think. Yeah, that's what I think.
It could happen that fast.
Yeah. Now, Saturn changes signs on March 7th. So it could take till that first week in March, but I'm going to say we know what's going down with the takeover of the government in Russia by the end of February.
Sure, definitely.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right about that.
All right, let me check out the.
Oh, Deb says she got the virus card on Putin and a little man off the ground jumping a crevice. Coma. She says he's in a coma.
Yeah, and the hermit next to the moon, I would say that's a coma too. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Oh, my sister's here, Cleo.
Oh,
yay! Hi, Cleo.
That name caught my attention. I go, Cleo the Seer.
Yep, that's her handle.
That's cute. I like that.
As we heal each other by Purette White. Hi. You have a long name, but as we heal each other, hello. Yeah, Cleo, we discussed that. We do think that Putin has a body double in right now. That's and what Val had said is that's probably, you know, they've probably done that for him for years, if nothing else, so that if somebody gets shot, it's the body double and not Putin. But how do they explain that then to people? You know, that he makes a miraculous recovery. You know, that's the thing.
You know, I don't know. They probably wouldn't tell people that he died, and that he just made a miraculous recovery.
Because, you know, they lie to them so much, I think. You know, and it's such a facade. It's just it's crazy. Okay, so what else do we have here?
Let's see.
I do have some questions.
Okay.
But go ahead. You go ahead with yours.
Let's see if I have any here. See if there's anything good on the newswire. Oh, that's interesting. Biden and Lula project unity on democratic values and climate change. That's Brazil. Lula's the new Brazilian. Oh. Okay.
Well, I know one. How long will it take the Republicans to actually put a bill out to stop Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid?
Oh, please let that never happen.
But they all agreed. They all agreed that they weren't going to do it. But how long will it take them?
Okay, let's read on that.
Let's see.
I might have to use my deck of characters for this one.
I'm going to use the Housewives Tarot for this one.
Oh, that's a good one to use.
How long
Oh, I
before
like that. I have those too.
Kevin McCarthy? How long before Widow Baby Kevin let them put a bill up about ending Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid?
Yep. How long? Oh,
How
goodness.
long? How long?
Goodness.
Yeah. Okay.
I kind of got my answer, but I'm going to pull a tarot card to see what the date, how long it would be. Let's see. Oh, Trump laptop found with top secret documents downloaded. I did read that earlier today, Jamie. Yeah. That's amazing.
That's wonderful. Oh, hi, Kevin. Hello. I see you there. Ah.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, I did my cards. All right.
I did mine too.
It's going to take them a grand total of, well, let's see. I could say 2 weeks because I got the 2 of Wands here. But I think, she's got those 4 hands going on. We also have the King of Wands. So I'm going to say, let's see, it's February 10th. I'm going to say it's going to be mid-March.
Mid-March.
Mm-hmm.
And I got, my number card is the devil, and it's 15. It's 15 days, 15 weeks. I'm not quite.
Well, that's the thing with the 2. I was like, 2 weeks, really? It would be that much, but
they did say that, and I mean, this is hilarious. The watchdog, gun, bulldozer, it's circus, and dumpster.
So let's go with
it's really not going to get off the ground.
No, it's not. No, and it won't pass anything. But let's see, 2 weeks would be February 24th. So let's say between February 24th and March 24th.
Yeah.
That's when it's happening. Because I'm telling you, these guys are cuckoo. And it's not that they're terrible politicians or terrible at governing. Yeah. It's that they don't care. They want to break everything. They want to break everything. They want to see it all come down in a blaze.
Right. And that is really the saddest thing out of all of this is that the GOP disintegrated. Well, not every one of them, but as an organization, it disintegrated to the level where they're not even human. They just want to do crazy, chaotic, nutty things.
Well, but you got to look at the Republicans who are not so MAGA.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with them? Why aren't they fighting and yelling about this harder? Why aren't they making a bigger deal about it? Don't they see that it's so dangerous?
They should be making noise, but they're all like fear that they're not going to be in favor and they're going to get sanctioned or they're going to be taken off a committee or something.
Oh, that reminds me. Pence. Let's do Pence and his thing. Who was he supposed to go and talk to?
Oh yeah, Smith. You have to go to the DOJ.
Yeah, Jack Smith.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do Pence. Let's see what's going to go on with Pence with Jack Smith.
All right.
how they're going to play that. Because that's another one. They're going to hang you, man. And what are you keeping silent for?
What in the world?
What in the hell are you keeping?
And the big headline is "Mother won't let me go." And I'm saying not mother, his wife, but his mother. It has to be his wife. He calls her mother.
Yep. Let's see. Jack Smith. What are you going to find out from old Whitey with the fly on top?
Okay. That was hilarious. The fly on the top, the head.
And therefore, Pence gets entertainment points, just like George Santos.
Oh, goodness.
Keep them around for entertainment points.
Wow. These deck of characters they're not pulling any punches.
Great.
Oh, my God. I got, he is really going to be showing he's showing no guts. But guts, I think his guts are going to come out.
Yeah, they're hanging out.
They're going to be hanging out because of the jail cell. I don't think that's him sticking his tongue out because he's very reserved.
Yeah.
But the tornado coming to him from Jack Smith and his questions are going to create the world for him, meaning the ending of a cycle.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
He will not be able to even run for any kind of office again. There won't be any of that. He's done.
You got any more? Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. So the first two cards that came up for me were sixes, and I thought, oh my God, if the third one's a six, then he's a goner.
666.
But I am going to take those numbers into account because I'm thinking I've got the Six of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords on a motorcycle. So I'm thinking that he's going to be taking Route 66 and leaving town. So I'm with you. No more political
it's
career.
It's going to kill his political life.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
So, Six of Swords. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, think about that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Six of Swords. So he's going to defend. He's going to defend himself, his choices.
Of course.
Probably Trump's choices, and be very, compassionate and understanding for the former guy, because why not? That place in his back where he got kicked all the time is kind of aching for another kick.
That's right. Well, if he doesn't, in his personality type, he has to somewhat defend him because he has to defend himself by defending Trump in certain ways and saying, well, he was the president and blah, blah, blah. And is he
the only person in Washington who still says the word president with a little bit of reverence? Because nobody else does anymore, except for when they're talking about Joe Biden. But when they're talking about Trump, the reverence and respect is gone. Yeah, that's what the MAGAs have done. So he will defend his holy ground, whatever he defines as his holy ground.
That's it.
But he will also look to other political allies for generosity. Correct. He's going to be looking to them to help him stay afloat, to stay politically viable. I don't think it's a question of money for Pence. It's a question of political capital. Capital.
It's how much power do you have in the group? How many people will be behind you for what X, Y, and Z?
Yeah,
is his cachet.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Because the next card that I got was the High Priestess, and the High Priestess.
This is better word.
with these great cards. I love these cards.
Yeah.
So he's looking at this stuff and thinking, well, how much power can I pull out of this? That's his knowledge of the Senate and his knowledge of the White House and the administration and Trump's administration. So he's going to try to parlay that and ask for a little payback. Okay, don't you remember? So he's got his little box of favors, just like Nancy Pelosi, right? And he's going to be literally and very baldly asking for favors back from people so that he doesn't die. Because he knows politically he's dying.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he's got to call in some of those favors.
He's going to call in everything.
Yeah.
And maybe even to the point that if there are still in the DOJ some Trump favorable people, he's going to talk to them too. He's going to talk to everybody, not realizing how close he's going to come to breaking new laws and to really implicating himself in something almost criminal or something criminal.
Because you're tampering.
Because he's gonna panic, because this is not a situation that Pence is comfortable in at all.
Not at all.
Very tight, very controlled.
Very tight.
Never take the wrong step. Know the rules, play the rules, do everything right. I mean, he had that radio show in Indiana, but come on, that was 20 years ago. He's not that guy anymore.
No.
Bottom line is, again, we get the emperor. They're gonna may not lock him up, but they're
definitely when they're done with him, he's not going to be able to do anything.
Even if he does not get indicted from all of this, the damage will have been done.
Yeah.
His reputation, as you said, his reputation will be
in tatters.
Completely. I mean, he's going to be like Mayo on the highway. I mean, nothing. I mean, he's just going to be like nothing left of him. He's just going to be obliterated.
I think that's what happens when the guts are going to be out on the road. So, but
like butter.
Yeah. And his whole, he's going to have a dark night of the soul. His whole persona of who he really is and how others see him is going to be so shifted that like he's not going to know who he really is, maybe. I mean, do you think he'd even have that? I don't know if he'd have an epiphany.
Well, I think that in order to maintain his demeanor, his persona,
he
must have other people who really support him. He must have, I mean, he was the vice president.
He has mother at home.
Yeah, but politically, he's probably got a pretty good circle of support.
He does.
I think they're all gonna. I think he's gonna feel ashamed.
Yes,
I think he's gonna feel a lot of shame, and I think that's gonna cause him to feel like he's just gonna pull back.
That's what I'm thinking.
Like in previous eras, just the hint of impropriety would send people running to the hills.
Yeah.
Well, Pence is going to have a lot more than a hint. He's going to have a shovelful, a mountainful, and he doesn't know what to do with it. He just doesn't know. He's going to try to get some help. I don't think anybody's going to be able to help him. I think it's done.
No, I think it's done. I really do too. Yeah.
Another like foreshadowing of this was, I believe, that Trump, when papers were found at Pence's wherever.
You just read my mind.
And Trump kind of supported him, like, well, he's a good guy, you shouldn't go after him, just like I'm a good guy, right?
Right.
That shows that Trump doesn't think he's very strong. That's almost his way of feeling sorry for him.
Yeah.
He's using it to build himself up for sure and to misdirect. But I think the fact that he's not threatened by Pence at all shows that there's a weakness there already, at least in Trump's eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so a lot of people who go with Trump are going to see that too. So I think Pence's circle of support is going to be shrinking rapidly into a, dare I say it, a noose around his neck.
Oh, yes, that's
Yeah.
true. And I
Yeah.
think that will be what occurs. And
Ugh.
I can almost just see it happening. Yeah, he, being the vice president, being Trump's running mate was not a good, very smart move on his part. But what went on during the administration and what he closed his eyes to that Trump was doing, that cannot be hidden.
No. And I think that Pence will get tripped up by somebody like Jack Smith. I think he'll be easily led by Jack Smith and easily caught in all sorts of traps. Is Pence a lawyer too?
I think, well,
Does Mr. Google know?
I'm not absolutely sure he is, but he's friends with a lot of lawyers. Let's see.
Oh, that's right, Kevin. Trump has dirt on Pence as well. Yeah. Well, you know what? I think Pence may spill some of that dirt because
Yeah, it says here he is an attorney who used to have his own practice. He moved to Indianapolis in 1983 to attend Indiana University McKinney Law School of Law, earning his JD in 1986. So he has knowledge, but he's been away from it for way too long. So he has a bunch of attorney friends or people he calls on to get would this be illegal? Or when he was in the White House, he used to call outside to all these people because it's been reported.
Yeah, and I wouldn't blame him because Trump's behavior was so unusual. And thank God he called Dan Quayle. Didn't he call Dan Quayle?
That was the thing I was thinking of. It was Dan Quayle, and I won't tell you what I always thought about Dan Quayle. But Dan Quayle, he called him, and Dan Quayle, bless his cotton socks, told him, no.
To think that we have fallen so far that the fate of our democracy was held in the hands of Dan Quayle.
I mean, I'm sorry, but God bless Dan Quayle, but you can spell potato the right way because he put an E on it. And he was in front of school kids. So I just want to say hi to Sharon. So
yeah, say hi. Hi, everybody. Hey. So what do we got here? Let's see. Come down here.
Dan Quayle. Of course, am I showing my
somebody asked about Marjorie Taylor Greene up here.
Oh, okay.
I think it might have been Cleo. She asked if Marjorie Taylor Greene would ever get back on her meds, I think.
Oh, that poor thing. I mean, she's probably bipolar, has ADHD. I mean, there's
let's do it. I can't wait to get into that.
There's probably a whole bunch of pills she should be taking. God bless.
I'll probably regret this, but let's go. Yeah, Pence's energy is really weird.
Let me use my candle here to get the energy off my cards. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, that same card keeps popping out. And it's a Band-Aid. Let's see. Oh.
Sounds like you got good stuff.
Oh. This isn't good.
Oh, God.
It is good. No.
Oh, my God.
I'll just say this fell out like 3 times. I said, okay, you're out. I got a Band-Aid. She's trying to she's trying to put a Band-Aid on her situation, but she's going to end up flying. I think this is like she's going to end up having to take a trip home because I got the Grim Reaper for for Marjorie, and I don't think it's death or anything like that, but there's going to be a lot of tears cried. And I got angel wings, which just means to me that higher energies are bringing about a balancing of energy with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she's going to have to fly away. That's my 2 cents.
Okay, so the first card that I got was...
I just vomit my final card.
Yes, good. Yeah, because, you know, that coat that she wore to the State of the... Oh, please. What is she, 14?
Yes, and yes.
Jeez. Was she smoking in the room? Did they let people smoke during the State of the Union?
She probably was. I mean, underneath.
What's up with that? God, we haven't had smoking in public buildings in over 20 years.
It's been that long, at least.
Yeah, what's going on? Okay, so I got the salmonella card, otherwise known as death.
And you got it too. I mean,
yeah. So she's not long for Congress. No. That's going away.
That's going away.
Yeah. So even though she got her wonderful committees, we know that a lot of these people from Jan 6, they're being investigated. They're going to get probably charged or indicted or whatever. And once they're not just charged, I don't think that's enough to make them leave, but if they had any sense, they would leave then.
Oh, totally.
They're gonna drag it out because
they're Kevin the healing medium. You got nice people in your chat.
I'm very lucky. Yeah,
you are lucky. Yes. But no, I totally agree with what you're saying. And,
yeah. So it's another Kevin. So both Kevins are here. Thank you guys. Thanks very much. So yeah. So poor little MGT. Now, actually, this card looks like her on the card. She got some decisions to make.
Yeah.
She got to make some decisions. And I think the decisions are not whether to wear that coat again. I think the decision is, does she keep going down this extreme road? Because she can raise money on her own, but it is MAGAs that are paying for her.
Yes, that's right.
It's the public MAGAs, not congressional MAGAs, but
right.
And she may be getting money from other sources too. I don't know. But as soon as it appears that she's not politically viable anymore, why would they give her money?
Exactly. And they wouldn't. And that would be her end right there. I mean, you're right. She can raise money on her own, but that would imply that people aren't behind her anymore.
Yeah, and they're not going to be because she's going to jail. She got 8 episodes.
Yeah.
So this is no good. No bueno for Marge.
Bueno.
No bueno for Marge. And
something's happening here.
Something really bad.
Something really bad.
Well, Kevin is going to be talking about it. He's going to be acting like he knew all along she was terrible, this Page of Wands.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. I wondered if her decision was, should she be best friends with Kevin or...
Well, it's not going to pay because Kevin is really weak. He actually does not wield that much power except for these committee assignments. Right. So now that that's done, what does she need him for?
Exactly.
When any one person can cause him to be taken down.
He already thinks she's quasi-speaker of the House. I mean,
and she may try to be right before they pull her out in handcuffs to arrest her because she's not she's not connecting the dots. Or like our other friend who has marbles rolling around in the hallway, she's just living in a fantasy world that in her world, her sitting there with that big jacket on and everything and yelling, to her, she was being a boss. She was running that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that her reality is like.
That's like, she thinks that's professional management style.
She thinks she's being real badass by doing that.
Yeah,
she does. I mean, nobody is. Yeah.
So
Kevin, Kevin's gonna, as soon as he sees that she's, kind of tainted with that illegality stuff, he's going to be like, well, I knew all along she was bad news, and yet you put her on these committees, you idiot. And the final thing, unfortunately, is the sword of truth. Justice is coming for her.
Justice.
And, it may not be as colorful and dramatic and funny as it is as we watch it with Trump, but it's still going to be very, very damaging to her career. And like Pence, she's not going to recover from that. So I hope she wasn't planning a very long political career, because no bueno, not happening.
No bueno. I agree with you 100% when I got the Grim Reaper card and the airplane flying away.
Yeah, right. Yeah. She's going away.
Yeah.
And part of her decision may be, how much dirt does she spill on everybody else?
Exactly.
She may be one of those people that just decides, okay, I'm shackled now. I'm going to yell out every secret that I know and take everybody down with me.
Well, she learned from the Trump playbook, right?
Yeah, she really did.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if there's any questions.
Okay.
Did you talk on this one? You did, right? No. On Marjorie? Did you already read your cards?
No, I did.
Okay.
I did it really fast because the deck of characters spoke loudly.
Nice.
The Grim Reaper was in plain sight, saying,
nice.
It was coming to an end soon. So I said the universe was going to balance those energies out.
Right.
That's my take on it.
Jules is asking, how do you think Turkish President Erdogan is going to do after his government's dismal behavior with regards to the earthquake? That's a good one. I'll use the cosmic deck for that.
Yeah. He pulled some fast ones there with the Trumpster.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff to explain.
Yeah.
But I really feel for the people of Turkey and Syria. It's unimaginable to have that many people, just devastating, building after building crumbling because they're made out of cinder block and they don't have rebar, and they just went down.
That the filming or the clips of that was just, oh God, my heart was in my throat. I could not believe what I was seeing. It just seemed like out of a movie or something. And they just had some natural disaster there. So they already had a lot of people in temporary housing and stuff.
Right. Yeah, it's really true. They were saying that a lot of Ukrainians were affected because they were there.
As refugees. As refugees?
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
And Zelensky's sending some of his rescue workers to help them.
Oh.
I think he's sending, I think the number was 88. And I thought, oh, that's nice. 8. The number of money and infinity. Good for you, Zelensky. Good for you. Talk about manifesting that.
He's plugged into some higher frequencies and energy. He seems to know.
Yeah.
He seems to have a handle on things.
Yeah, it's so subtle, so nice.
And yet he's a master of it.
His voice just gets me, though. that gravelly. I don't expect that very gravelly voice to come out of him.
Exactly. There's a YouTube clip out there of he and his wife singing, he's playing guitar and they're singing, and they are so good.
Well, he's a performer, that was
yeah, he was an actor, and
comedian.
he is really a good musician as well. Yeah.
Well, believe me, he's using every one of his talents right now to try to keep that country afloat. Okay, Erdogan. What's going to happen
in Britain? He was just in Britain asking for fighter planes. He's on it.
He is. Him and Biden, man, they're doing the tours and selling out concert halls, and
they are
going platinum, both of them.
I'm telling you. It is true.
Oh, God.
I forgot what we were even reading on. I did pull all my cards.
Erdogan with Turkish President Erdogan. What is he going to do after his government's dismal behavior with regards to the earthquake horror?
Okay.
So are they going to ask him to step down? Is he going to take the blame? Is he going to take some action? What the heck? Come on now, Erdogan. What are you going to do?
I see the story now.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
What the heck are you up to?
I think I need to pull a few more cards to see the ending of the story.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go then. The first card up is the Princess of Cups. So they got some secrets. I mean, there's some reasons why things are not being handled well, and it does not have to do with Erdogan. It has to do with stuff in the government, but he lets it go on. Yes. He knows about this, and that's not good. So there's some hinky stuff going on in the government that they hide from their citizens. And so he's
surprised.
The next two cards are very interesting. It's the Hanged Man and the Two of Swords.
Oh, yes.
So, they are going to try to hold on to the secrets as long as they can. They're going to try to drag their heels. And in the meantime, people are going to be suffering. And so I think the people are going to make the decision for him. I think they're going to be outraged, and they're going to demand action. I don't think there's going to be I think they're too sad and sick and injured and traumatized to do a big, huge uprising. But I do think they're going to demand some action, and he's going to have a hard time with his government defending what they did. He's just going to be at his wit's end, because he may be, I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. I have a feeling vaguely he's kind of a bad guy.
I would go on the bad guy side.
Yes. And so even though he is a bad guy, he doesn't want to see his whole country demolished. He doesn't want to see everybody sick and dying. That's not good for him either.
No.
Now, I do see that the last two cards, very positive, 6 of Wands, 2 of Wands. So he is going to spend some time really talking up how he's making changes and how he's going to do things, and he's going to spread things around, and it's going to be really happy. It may be a little late. There may already have been further deaths and destruction and further difficulties for people, but he will be seen as a person who is not really a hero, but that he did get it together and finally do something pretty decent for his country. He did not let them completely fall out. He tried really, really hard. But I think it's going to mean the exposure of those secrets. And I think ultimately that will cause him to have to be removed, because they're not going to tolerate that. But in the wake of this crisis, he has a little delayed reaction, but he does come forward with getting it together.
Yeah, I kind of get that same kind of thing. I didn't know if you were through yet, but
No, I'm done. I'm done.
I love your reading. The Five of Wands, there's some infighting and things going on,
Yeah,
they're
nasty stuff.
they're kind of positioning themselves and whatnot, but they're talking about what kind of action they've got to bring forward to create or clean up, it's monumental. I don't even know how. I thought about it myself and I couldn't even figure out how where would they even put the rubble? I mean, it's like
Exactly.
he's demolished.
Yeah, it's huge.
So, he's feeling, I think, like his hands are a little tied. And I agree with exactly what you were saying. Much like the Russian government for entertainment purposes only, they have the layer of oligarchy, or the layer of people that benefit from how the government runs.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the ones who run the government in a different way, in the dark way, while, the figurehead, which would be Putin or Erdogan, would be just that. They can do some things, but they're more of a figurehead. But I see him feeling like this, the burdens of the country, the burdens that he sees in front of him. I mean, he's feeling it. Absolutely. He's trying to balance everything, all the things that are going wrong, not just monetarily, but building supplies, people to help. I mean, they're still in recovery, trying to recover people.
Yeah.
So, this is a whole huge thing. This next to the Hermit card. I mean, he's got to dig deep to try and come up with something. Really, really go inward and try and figure out what serves the country best.
Yes.
So he's really worried. I mean, he's anxious.
And he hasn't done this kind of action in a very long time. He's been very selfish.
Yes,
so
he has.
For him to clear the cobwebs off of his heartstrings and start dealing like a real leader and the leader of a country, it's a challenge for him.
It's a challenge, but the horror before him is so grand, of a grand scale, that it is touching his heart. And I think this Queen of Cups really is almost like his heart opening up to it. And I feel like he's going to try and hold on to everything he's got, but he will try to gather people from other countries, gather people from wherever he can get help. He won't be too proud. He'll ask for help. And he's going to have to ask for experts to come up with ways to clear and rebuild. And I mean, and that's after they have removed all the bodies, and God bless them all. I mean, I feel really bad for the people in Syria and Turkey.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the meditation on them.
That would be great. Oh, yeah. That would be really
good. I'll write something about that, because I think
your Ukraine one was wonderful. And so,
thank you.
That would be really great if you could do it on
very, very heartfelt, that Ukraine one.
Yes, and it really felt powerful.
Yeah. And the more people that do it, the more power goes behind it to send that healing out. So
absolutely,
really, really important. Well, I think that about does it for us. We've been on for about an hour. Thank you, everybody who's been in the chat. But now, we never talked about your channel. What's going on for you?
What is going on for me? Just my normal. You can always go to my community page and see whatever shows I have set up. You'll see them coming up. But I have a few Ascended Masters that I have messages from that I have to type up and do those videos. So look for that. One of them is Mother Mary.
Nice.
And yeah, so that was by popular demand.
From the Ascended Masters or from your viewers?
From my viewers. I actually did a little poll on my community page, and I put a few Ascended Master names, and I said, which would you rather hear from? And actually, yeah. Jesus was number one, so I already did him. So,
very nice. Yeah, very nice.
That was fun.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for coming on with me.
My pleasure.
I love doing this with you.
I love doing this with you.
Very comfortable with you, and I think we bounce off each other really nice. Yeah, so, and thank you everybody in the chat. Hi, Jules. I'm sorry your son is sick. Oh. We're wrapping up though, so you're good. And thank you, everyone. Thank you. This was really great. And I'll have you back soon because I love you.
I love you too, and I'd love to come back.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Take care.